Everything you see about him is an illusion, but what he loves the most is controlling youth.
These are not just like stories, they're sit-down interviews with childhood best friend, personal bodyguard for like 10 years, former employees, former artists that he worked with. It's everybody that was intimately involved with this guy, and everything that they said, I mean, he's a monster.
Reached out to him, and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy celebrating 20 years of hits. And this is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother.
If I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
Just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z.
Here's what's striking. For the past 20 years, Jay-Z has been presented as the ultimate success story in hip-hop. A man who rose from the Marcy Projects to owning stakes in streaming services, champagne brands, NBA teams, and creating music that shaped generations. When people say he controls the culture, what they really mean is that he influences what becomes popular, what success looks like, and how wealth is defined in hip-hop. But after this Netflix documentary, the conversation has shifted. Now you have 50 Cent, someone who ran in those same circles, attended the same events, and built his own fortune, saying on camera, "If I don't speak up, they're going to look at all of us the same way they look at Diddy." That statement matters. This documentary is not just about Sean Combs. It's about powerful men at the top of hip-hop trying to control how history remembers them. Some want to be seen as smart businessmen. Others may end up remembered very differently. That's why Jay-Z's past suddenly feels relevant again, especially the stabbing case involving Lance on Rivera at a Manhattan nightclub. Jay-Z pleaded guilty and received 3 years of probation, watching him stay completely silent while his longtime associate is torn apart on Netflix doesn't feel like coincidence. It no longer looks like a distant billionaire watching someone else's downfall. It looks like someone who understands how quickly public opinion can turn once the law starts replaying the footage of your life.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah, and then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
Pay attention to how 50 Cent speaks when Diddy's parties come up. Online, he jokes. But in interviews, his tone shifts. He becomes calm and serious. He has said clearly that he stayed away from Diddy's so-called freak-offs because his instincts told him something was off. To him, those rooms didn't feel like rich people partying. They felt dangerous. Now that the Netflix documentary describes what allegedly happened at those events days long, sessions, heavy drug use, women being pressured, encounters being filmed, it becomes clear why 50 sounds relieved that he trusted his instincts. He speaks like someone who knew curiosity could have cost him everything.
I think It was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
You're a public person as well, and there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in the
car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was, it shows you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah, I mean, and what's the odds that you would do that in front of a camera? Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on.
According to 50, Diddy maintained a perfect public image. On stage, he was smiling, grateful, and celebrated as a symbol of black success. Behind closed doors, though, he allegedly moved like someone who believed rules didn't apply to him. That description lines up with what the documentary and federal filings claim. The allegations describe a man who used money, drugs, and promises of career advancement to control people. It's also alleged that recordings of these encounters were kept as leverage. Just in case anyone considered speaking out, this is where Jay-Z Ray enters the picture. Reports documenting their relationship show that Jay-Z and Diddy shared space for nearly 30 years. They donated money together, co-headlined the Scream Fest tour, and publicly referred to each other as brothers. Diddy even called Jay-Z his strategist during public brunches, where they joked about being part of a small circle of self-made billionaires. 50 Cent has said he saw enough from the outside to keep his distance and has been warning people for over 10 years. Jay-Z, however, wasn't on the outside. He was in the photos in VIP sections on private jets. So when he goes completely silent as the documentary airs and federal agents remove hard drives from Diddy's homes, people start asking questions. Silence no longer looks like caution. It looks like concern about what might exist on tape.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Jaguar Wright does not describe Jay-Z as someone caught off guard by the documentary. She describes him as strategic. In her words, Jay-Z's silence isn't shock, it's calculation. She claims his lawyers have instructed him to say nothing while Diddy's empire collapses, allowing Jay-Z to position himself to benefit from whatever power or assets become available afterwards. Argues this pattern isn't new. When Dame Dash, DMX, and others faced legal or industry trouble, Jay-Z didn't fall with them. He stepped around the chaos. After Rockefeller split, he avoided public drama, took control of Def Jam, and later built Roc Nation.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress,
yeah,
who died of an imaginary aneurysm, just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list.
Jaguar takes the claims even further, moving into territory that sparks heated debate. She alleges that Jay-Z and Diddy operated as accomplices who left little evidence behind, while insiders allegedly knew about women who became problems. She references long-standing rumors involving pregnancies and powerful men, allegedly making those issues disappear. None of this has been proven in court. Some civil lawsuits that named Jay-Z and Diddy together have already been dropped. But that uncertainty is exactly why the claims spread so fast online. To many, it feels like a disturbing explanation for why two of the most powerful figures in hip-hop remained so close for decades. Even as allegations surrounded them, you don't have to believe every word to understand the tension. Viewers just watched hours of testimony describing alleged coercion, recordings, and silencing. Then they hear Jaguar say Jay-Z isn't surprised at all, he's just carefully stepping out of the blast radius. That's the question people are now asking. Is Jay-Z a clean billionaire, watching a former friend collapse? Or is he someone who knows enough to stay quiet while making sure none of the fallout reaches him? When people say Jay-Z stole a life, they're referring to Devin Irby for years. Devin has claimed he introduced Jay-Z to street connections, financed early moves, and took legal risks that helped Jay-Z rise. Once the music took off, Devin disappeared from the official story. The narrative became, "I did this alone." That pattern stands out. As Jay-Z's brand became cleaner, the people connected to the messier parts of that rise faded into the background.
You can see that is Jay-Z in the mugshot, and he doesn't look happy.
For Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night.
So this all went down at the Kit Kat Club, which is no longer around, but it was the hot spot in New York, and it became a crime scene.
Once inside, he had a confrontation with record producer Lance Rivera. Cops say the argument heated up during a party celebrating a new release by rapper Q-Tip. Jay-Z and his crew surrounded the 33-year-old Rivera and his 29-year-old brother Corey. Witnesses say that Jay-Z allegedly plunged a knife into Rivera's stomach and smashed a bottle over his brother's head before running out of the club.
So everybody at the scene clearly knew that Jay-Z was involved, and he was even quoted in court saying, "I stabbed Lance Rivera." Jay-Z did end up turning himself in. He had a bail of $50,000, which he was able to pay, so he got out a few hours later. A press conference with his lawyers labeled Jay-Z as an innocent man. Quote, "To think that this guy, who is as gentle as can be, has anything to do with this is crazy," end quote. And I don't know what's going on with Lance, but he actually came out and stated that Jay-Z in fact did not stab him. Lance recalls that night and claims that he was surrounded by 10 knives, a bunch of guys with all these knives in the club. The reporter asked him, "Was Jay-Z the one who stabbed you?" He laughs before responding, "No, Jay-Z was not the guy that actually stabbed me that night." The executive clarifies that they did have a conversation right before getting hit in the head with a champagne bottle, so it probably was one of Jay-Z's.
You can see the same instinct in how Jay-Z handled his own legal trouble. After the Lance and Rivera stabbing, he didn't drag the case out. He took a plea deal, accepted 3 years of probation, and then rewrote the story through music. Songs like Guilty Until Proven Innocent reframed the incident as a lesson about media narratives And Resilience Effort shows someone who understands how dangerous official records can be and how powerful it is to shape the story first. Now imagine that same person watching a Netflix series. Walk viewers through Diddy's history piece by piece, while hearing rumors that investigators may begin reviewing everyone connected to those events.
One thing we're not gonna do is sit here and act like Jay-Z and Diddy haven't been friends for years now. Ever since Jay-Z got wrapped into this lawsuit against Diddy, he's been trying to distance himself, and his lawyer Alex went as far as to say that Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs, saying they knew each other professionally for a number of years. Just like in all professions, people know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to an NBA All-Star game, they support each other. So he's listing out these events that Jay-Z and Diddy have been spotted at together. Now, of course, there was a ton of reaction on social media because we've all known for years now, ever since they came into the game, Jay-Z and Diddy have been close. So if Jay-Z wants to sit here and send his lawyer off to the media to tell us that they aren't friends, I'm gonna sit here and combat this and talk to you guys about how good of friends they really are. Now, we all know it seems like the music industry is going through its own Me Too era, with Diddy as the face of it. Now, this lawsuit, originally filed in October 2024, was amended on December 8th to include Jay-Z's name. The accusations center around an alleged incident at an after-party following an awards show more than 2 decades ago. We all know that this involves a 13-year-old girl, and the details are disturbing, but Jay-Z claims he has nothing to do with it.
All due respect to Jay-Z, there's an awful lot of pictures of you running around in your undies at parties with Diddy. And so you were at some of these parties. You know, when you see that, it's hard to walk away from that visual.
Now, to really break down their relationship, their friendship, we have to go all the way back into the 90s. Jay-Z and Diddy first met in the 90s because they were both rising stars in the New York music scene. Both were born into single mother households in rough neighborhoods. They used their shared experiences to forge a bond that extended beyond music, way beyond music. Their first major collaboration actually came in the wake of a tragedy, the death of Notorious B.I.G. The two joined forces on Jay-Z's album In My Lifetime. 2 years later, they teamed up again for Diddy's single, Do You Like It? Do You Want It? No, sir. I'm gonna give you no consent right now. No. In 2001, Jay-Z said, "We were young, hungry, and dealing with a lot of pain. That kind of energy brought us together." Which right off the bat, that is a concerning friendship. Like, major red flags go up because you both are clearly like traumatized from something in your past and you're kind of egging each other on. Now, Diddy early on created his record label Bad Boy Records, and then a few years later, Jay-Z followed suit with Rockefeller. In 2012, Diddy was quoted saying, "Jay has always been ahead of the curve. I respect his hustle from day one." Now, in the early 90s, Diddy was trouble, just as much trouble as he has been in the 2000s.
The issue for Jay-Z isn't one rumor. It's the timeline. Major outlets have already detailed how closely Jay-Z and Diddy moved together. From the mid-1990s onward, New York clubs, studio sessions, guest verses, and shared industry spaces when Bad Boy and Rockefeller were shaping East Coast rap while the notorious B.I.G. became the face of Bad Boy and Jay-Z released Reasonable Doubt. Their circles constantly overlapped. Chris Lighty, Russell Simmons, Clive Davis events long before billion-dollar valuations. We're ever discuss it that early connection matters now because the reckoning around Sean Combs doesn't show random excess. It outlines a power structure where certain people were always close enough to understand how things really worked.
Jay-Z's personal and professional life intersected with Diddy's influence. Jay-Z started dating Beyonce in 2001 when she was 19 and he was 33. Their romance often unfolded at high-profile events, which were typically hosted by Diddy. That same year, Jay-Z and Beyonce made their relationship public by appearing in Vanity Fair's November issue. Their first musical collaboration, Bonnie and Clyde, released in 2002 and became a cultural moment. In 2003, Beyonce branched out from Destiny's Child and collaborated with Diddy on the track Summertime. The collaboration heightened the close connection between the two artists, saying, quote, "Beyonce and I have always vibed creatively. Diddy responded in an interview back in 2004. Years later, Beyonce continued to show support for Diddy, attending his lavish 50th birthday bash in 2019. She also made a heartfelt social media post in honor of Diddy. So when these two try to disconnect themselves from this man, I question, like, what's really going on here? Especially because we talked about like 5 men who came forward and they had separate suits, and a lot of them were between the years 2019 through 2022. So it's not like all of his bad acts were early in the 90s or the 2000s.
I'm having a great night.
Now in 2005, we saw these two men partner together for Hurricane Katrina. Also comment below if you were in Hurricane Katrina, like comment below and share a little story. The two donated $1 million to the relief fund, a gesture that showed how close these two were, that they were discussing this like tragedy and then working together on how to donate and then to probably get a tax write-off from it. I mean, let's be real, people. Speaking to the AFP at the time, Diddy emphasized on the importance of unity, saying, when you hear black people say brothers and sisters, it's really true. These are all the people I know and I'm related to somehow, some way. The human race is family. And at this time, people were loving Jay-Z and Diddy because they were doing so many good things, at least on the surface level. I mean, really, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, you're gonna act like these two aren't close friends? Look at them over here hanging out, donating a bunch of money. Now, just 2 years later, in August 2009, Jay-Z and Diddy performed together at Screamfest Music Festival. Sounds scary. It kind of reminds me of like Astro World, where a bunch of people died. Now, at this event, a resurfaced video shows Diddy playfully but aggressively spanking Jay-Z twice on stage, prompting backlash from fans and rivals alike. We've heard that Diddy has handfuls of male victims. So I don't know, I don't want to like assume his sexuality. I mean, at this point, who cares? But he's clearly bi or something. In 2009, a photo of Diddy and Jay-Z in a deep conversation at Diddy's birthday party became a centerpiece at the Rock and Roll of Hip Hop exhibition. I wonder what they were talking about.